Sure. Yeah, my name's Toby. So I'm originally from the UK. I was born and raised in London. My background comes in sales and marketing. So I was a political science major at college. Got into working in the sales and marketing industry in the UK. I was working for a company that was international, and so after working there for a few years and working my way up, I got the chance to move over to New York, and I started my own sales and marketing company while I was out there. So that's where kind of my background is, like business operations and marketing. So I took that experience and learned a ton from that. I was like running a business at the height. We had 25 employees working for me. And then when the pandemic hit, it was face to face sales. So that's when I decided to move over to the West Coast. So I'm in San Diego, California right now. And that's when I got into cryptocurrency. First investing in DeFi. First, I started off with yield farms, and then I was big into the Olympus fork season. So a lot of different rebase projects was invested into, and then came across Tomb Finance. Actually, Scarab was the first Tomb fork that I invested into, and then was in a ton of different Tomb forks. And then I came across Game Theory. Our founder and developer Sweetie actually came across Game Theory on day one, and we actually started speaking. And basically, when I found out what it was, like her ideas and what she was building, kind of lending my like business experience, I thought we were like a really good fit, and so we ended up forming a partnership. And then we've been running Game Theory together ever since. Yeah, all year round. That's why I left. Sure. So if we head over to the website. So this is our landing page that you see kind of when we come through, and I think that's a good place to start. So the whole idea, what game theory is, so we are an algorithmic stablecoin at its heart. So we have two core tokens, which is we have our peg token, which is called game, and then we have our share token, which is called theory. So if we jump into the website, these two tokens here, so game and theory. So game is pegged to DAI, so pegged to a stable coin. So long term, the price of game is designed to be $1. And then theory is our share token, which is also in a liquidity pool, is paired with DAI as well. And how these tokens interact is that with the game token is that the protocol is going to be printing more game tokens every time that the price of game is above $1 to help keep that price at that stable point. Theory has a maximum supply of 363,000, and so that will be fully distributed after a year, and that basically is representing the value in the protocol over time. And so this is a model that's been used by a bunch of different protocols. Tomb Finance was the one that became the most famous, kind of doing that model. And we looked at that and we were like, the model is really good for creating a currency, but the issue is that in order for it to be balanced, there has to be enough revenue and enough demand with the token to counterbalance the fact that it's constantly increasing in supply over time. And so for us, Sweetie, who's our developer, she's like a lifelong game developer. She went to college for game development. She worked on a AAA rated game, which is she worked for a massive gaming studio and worked on a game that's actually she's a private, but she worked on one of the biggest games in the world, and so she's got tremendously high game development skills. And so we decided to build an ecosystem of blockchain games that are going to be powered by our algorithmic stablecoin and by our share token. And so that's the general idea of the project, which is that we're going to be building and releasing a series of different games. All those games, the native currency is going to be our game token. And so as we build more games and as they become more popular and as we get more revenue from our games, that's what's going to keep the DeFi protocol healthy in terms of our tokens, balancing out the inflation with the demand that comes from our games. Exactly right. And all of our we're doing a different types of games. So the first one, which we're going to play a little bit later, is called Altergene, which is like our maze chase game, which is inspired by Pac-Man. So for that one, which is like very much like an arcade game, one credit is one game token. So you pay one game token to be able to play. You get 3 lives. You play the game, and then you can buy like in bulks of up to 6 credits at a time. And that's how you play the game. So yeah, one game token equals an ability to play the game. The next game we're releasing is our own version of Angry Birds. And then the game after that is we're building our own turn-based RPG game that's like going to be similar to Final Fantasy, like a simple version of that. And so based off of like the RPG games is bigger, so it's not just going to be a straight like, oh, you have a credit. There's going to be its own virtual currency in the world, and you can so 2 different ways you can get them. So you can play the game, and through playing the game, you can earn like the first version of the virtual currency. But there's a more premium virtual currency that the only way you can get that is by exchanging game tokens for that virtual currency. So you can either like play the game and get the low level currency, or you can pay to get the more premium currency, and those currencies allow you to play in the world. So depending on what type of game will be, there'll be slightly different tokenomics, how they'll interact with the game token. But every single game that we build is all going to be interacting with the game token, which is what's going to give it its utility. Plus, we have NFTs as part of our system too. The NFT holding an NFT gives people there are rewards for all of our games. So there's an opportunity to earn, and holding an NFT gives bigger rewards for people who win those prizes, and it also gives bigger rewards for people who are invested in the DeFi side in terms of being in our liquidity pools or being staked in our boardroom. And so those NFTs, we have an NFT marketplace, which is going to be coming out too. And all the fees from that are going to be going towards our governance holders and also going towards supporting the protocol. We also have a lottery coming out as well. So everything that we're doing, it's all going to be utilizing the game token, giving it a value, which is what's going to give the protocol health over the long term. Yes, so let me get it up for you here so you can see. Yes, we have a series of different prizes, yes, that people can earn through that. So let me get it up on the website. So if you go onto our website, we're still just like adding all this so people can see it. But if you see the leaderboards, you can see everything is right here. So you can see the challenges that we have. So we got seasonal challenges where, oh, the high score just got broken. Yeah, so we got highest level score, most enemies defeated, highest level reach, most power-ups, top spender. And then we have daily rewards too, which is a random user gets 50 game, and also the most enemies defeated gets a reward. And you can see what all the prizes are for those different things here. So 500 game, 250, 300. So yeah, I mean, that's any based on current prices, that's between like 125 to $300 you can win for each of these prizes. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, but no, that's where we're at right now. Can you see the roadmap here? Perfect. Yeah, so this is where we're at. So the first couple months, what we built, we released our farms and our theoretics, which is our version of the boardroom. We released our 2 different generations of NFTs. And we're going to be releasing a 3rd generation of those NFTs. Like I said, they give you more bonuses with the games, and they actually allow you. The first 2 generations allow you to get more rewards from the investment side with the liquidity pools. We released our governance token, which is master. The way you get that is by locking up the share tokens, and by getting the master token, you're able to vote. Plus, you're getting a share of the treasury's profits while you're still getting emissions coming from theoretics. And we redesigned our website. So the layout, what you're seeing on the website now looks very different to what it was on day one. So anyone who's with us for the first 2 to 3 weeks, they can tell you how different it is. And then this month, so we released our Altergene, which is our Pac-Man clone. We released our single stake pools, which gives people who are buying bonds with us the ability to earn yield from that. And then the rest of this month, so we have our NFT marketplace, which is coming out. We're releasing another generation of NFTs, which are going to be a little bit cheaper than our first 2 generations. And they're going to be exclusively game rewards, so you don't get the DeFi investment side of it, which is why they're cheaper. And then we're releasing our version of Angry Birds. And then in June next month, we have the lottery coming out. And then we have our first real, like, larger size game, which is our RPG game. Right. Yeah. So we have a core team with 3 different members. We had four different developers at one point, which is why we were able to build the marketplace, the lottery, Altergene, everything. But yeah, we've kind of been working pretty much flat out from that. And then we have our moderation team. But yeah, we've been working pretty flat out since launch, because I know for me personally, as from an investing perspective, I've been in so many protocols that promised all these things, but never went through on any of them. So for us, like, we take our roadmap really seriously. Like, the lottery is already built, the NFT marketplace is already built, the game part of Angry Birds is already built. It's just a case of auditing them, and we're also staggering release of some of these things on purpose so that we can focus on one feature at a time, really get some marketing around it first, get the use up before, not just kind of throwing everything at it at once. Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's walk through the game itself, so people can see what we've built here. So head out to the website. So if you go to www.gametheory.tech, and then if you hit on Altergene, it's going to take you through. So first thing that will come up is we've got 3 different servers based on what region of the world that you're in. Oh, even turn the volume down. Can you guys hear me okay still? Yeah, perfect. Cool. And then, so yeah, so what we got on here, you can see that we have the leaderboard. So you can show the top scores that people have got. That's like the top 10 leaderboard, which is happening there. That is something that if we go back onto the website, that's what ties in with the leaderboards that we have here. And you can see at the top of the website too. So credits purchased, that's the total number of game tokens that have been put into the system to play. So as that number gets higher and higher, that's basically a representation of the revenue that the games are generating. You can see what the top score is there. We head back over to leaderboard, so you can see what all of the different top scores are. So it's easy for people to come on there, see what the prizes currently are, see what the challenges are, and see what people's scores are, so they can go and have a look at it too. And then with Angry Birds, that's the next game that we're going to be releasing. There's going to be a little bit of a different set of tokenomics with that, because with Angry Birds, that it is a turn-based game. And so it's going to be a little bit easier, because one of the things that we had when we first launched was that based on like what part of the world you're in, and with all like the everything going on with the networks, everything being pretty busy. And so with Angry Birds, it's going to be a little bit simpler, but we're also going to have because it's progression based too. Like every level you do, it gets more and more complex. There's going to be different enemies and things like that. Whereas Pac-Man, like the Pac-Man clone, it's a little bit simpler in its like basic form as well. And so things are going to get progressively more advanced and more difficult too. Yeah, we love it. We definitely have a very competitive community too, and it gives kind of everyone something to chase towards too. So yeah, so when you come on here, you'll be able to set up your own nickname. So it's 3 letters. So mine's a TOJ. You've got a how to play. So if you click on that, it's going to take you over to our documents and just give you some more information about the game and show things to you. So you can see that we got the main things is like most people I imagine have played Pac-Man. We pick it up pretty quickly. A big thing for us is that we have power ups. So you've got a red power up, which gives you more power. You got a blue power up, which gives you super speed. A green power up, which means you get double the points, and you got a transparent power up, which makes you a ghost, which makes you invulnerable. So you can see there, you set your nickname. The red is a power up. So when you have the enemies over there, you can go in and you can kill them, but you can only kill some of them. So this is more complex than just a standard Pac-Man. Buy credits, so you can buy a maximum of 6 credits, which is 6 game tokens. So in order to buy the credits, you already need to have the game tokens in your wallet. You can get those by if you go onto the website and you just hit on game, it will take you through to Spooky Swap, and then you can use Die, Phantom, whatever, and you can exchange those tokens so you can buy game tokens. So hit into play. When you hit the play, it's just going to ask you to sign the notification on your MetaMask. So based on like where you are, if you've got like a good internet connection, I'd recommend like getting a little bit closer to it to make things go faster, especially with how crazy Phantom has been over the last few days with all the buys and sells coming through. Gonna load for me. This one's been pretty slow today. And the volume control is definitely one of the convenience features that we added in that made it a big impact because when we first had it. All right. So you can see running around there. So the power-ups is a big difference. So now I've got super speed. Trying to avoid these getting killed by these guys. And collecting as many points as possible. So now I'm ghost, so I'm invisible, so they can't see me. Now power. So you see how they've turned blue? So now I'm able to mess these guys up. Trying to avoid. Uh-oh. It's getting intense over here, guys. Feeling pressure. Everyone's watching. Chasing me. Ooh. Yeah, and I'm a pretty tall guy. Oh, nope. Can't get in there now. Did it. And then it just takes you through to the next one. And so it's a... Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Cool. So you see the cherries over there. So you get the 3 lives to go through with it. And just try and get as many points as you can. And so that's where we added the play to earn element to it, that by having those daily prizes and those total prizes, you're able to earn money by playing the game. And this is just our very first game, so games are going to have a more intricate tokenomic system as we go along. But yeah, that's our game Altergene right there. Or just the more practice you get to add to, especially with like I've got big hands, and so like on the keyboard, my arrows are pretty small. My keyboards are kind of getting the intricate different things in there. But once you play it a few times, you get the hang of it. That's a good question. Because it's gone up progressive. I think I remember like when the game first came out, it's like the high score was like 20,000 or something, and then it went to like 50,000, then 100,000. Now it's like over 200,000 is that top score. So I imagine that they're probably like level 15 to 20 somewhere. We just introduced the new challenges, so everything got reset. So we're not sure what the highest level someone's got to yet, but I imagine it's in the 15 to 20 range at least. Well, that's why we added the daily challenges too. So it wasn't just like, one person who's like camped out there with like an unbreakable score, or that's not realistic, but give people the opportunity to win some of those prizes. And if we go have a look at them again. So you can also get for like the most enemies defeated. You can see like the highest level you can get to right now at 6. So it's like been reset. Most power-ups you can collect. So there's 4 per round. So, and then you also get like the person who's spending the most amount of credit. So we're kind of rewarding someone who's just like spending a lot of time playing. Plus you get the random one, and you get the most enemies defeated in one day. So it gives kind of a variety of opportunities for people to be able to win money. Yeah, they're going back and forth, right? Yeah, so I would just say that the roadmap for us is like the biggest game we currently have on the schedule is called Brutal Network. So it's going to be a much bigger shoot 'em game. So it's going to be like it's a sci-fi anime hybrid kind of mix. It's like a city defense where it's like cities that's under attack by a bunch of monsters, and you play as a character who's a new recruit into the city defense like army, and you're training up in that army, and then you're going to be defending the city against these monsters who are coming to attack. So that's like our one of our big flagship games that we're building that is going to take somewhere between like 10 to 14 months for us to develop. So we're going to have just a series of different games. Like after you saw the roadmap, we just went up to June, but in July we're looking to bring out poker, and we're also looking at Space Invaders as the next two games that we're going to be putting out as well. So over time, what you're going to see is that we're just going to be developing and releasing more and more games. And what that means is that right now, obviously, you've got the option of Altergene, which is our one game, but then you have the option you can play either Altergene or you can play our Angry Birds version. Then you'll be able to play Altergene or our version of Angry Birds, or you can play the RPG game. And so over time, we're just going to have more and more options, appeal to more and more different personality types and interests in terms of what they like to play. Plus, we'll have the lottery, the NFT marketplace. So we're just going to see the ecosystem get larger and larger and larger, be able to have a home for more and more people. And the more that the game currency is getting used, the more that it's then providing stability to the investing side of things and making it a more and more attractive investment for people who are interested in the DeFi side of things. So we think we're really trying to appeal to all audiences and genuinely have a sustainable business model where our revenue is coming from people playing our games. And the more exciting our games are, the more successful they are, then the more profitable the investment side of things is, versus kind of doing what a lot of crypto projects do, which is just printing money out of thin air. And it's just like first one to the exit ends up winning, and you end up with a lot of investors left kind of holding the bag. Exactly. That's exactly it. And have one benefit the other. So the arcade games get benefited from having a stable currency, which is used for to power all the different games. Because one of the issues with a lot of games where they have one token which does everything, which is if people are using that token to try and like buy and sell and make money off of that, it's generally what you see with those tokens is they go down in value over time, whereas ours is pegged to a stable coin, so that its currency is going to stay stable over time. And the seniority side of it, the Tomb Fork side, gets benefit because the currency has a genuine use case versus just it being a money cycle where it's like you're moving money back and forth. So we think they kind of both harmoniously benefit each other for this kind of combining cryptocurrency and gaming, becoming the bridge between those two sides. Thanks for having us. It's great to speak to your community as well. Awesome. It's my pleasure.